Hey, it's me, Toasty Fresh, and I was sat here reading through my latest issue of Disney Princesses magazine when I thought, hey, I haven't done a collections vid in almost a couple of days, so maybe it's time to do another one because I've got a few things to show you, and it's going to be a mixed bag this time. It's going to be some PC games, there's an Xbox game, original game, there's some more PS2 games, a couple of PS1 games, and even some other little interesting things to show you. So let's get well underway with one of the first ones that I've got, and that was from a local charity shop, and I forgot what it cost me, about 50p or something like that, and it's Napoleon Total War for the PC, and I got it because it was kind of in this nice Imperial edition, so like a collector's edition. I don't think there's really anything, to be honest, too collector's edition about it. You get like two nice little pictures on either side of this thing, but there's no special things kind of with it, I don't think. You just get like a little thing showing you the two units, and it tells you a little bit about them there on the other side, and it comes with the 2 discs and the instruction booklet. But I just kind of got that because they look kind of like they might be my kind of thing. I don't mind playing my strategy games and things like that. I was big into them on the PlayStation 1 with Warcraft 2 and Command and Conquer and Populous. So this is a different kind of thing. It's like big battles go on, and it's kind of like political intrigue, I think, as well. You go off a map. I've not actually played any of the Total War series yet, but that's my about 3rd game that I've picked up. I've got the Shogun one, Total War Shogun 2, and I've got another one, I forget which one that is, Medieval. And I just picked them up because I thought I will try and attempt to play them at some point. And then for my other ones, it's a bit of a classic gaming of the rest of my PC games I picked up, and I got Destruction Derby 2, and I just picked this up because I don't know if it's going to work on my computer. And I think it is actually meant to be meant to be in a bundle, this, with some other games, because there's a demo disc, I think this is. Oh no, it's a manual. That's the manual for the, and I think it was a bundle because it says on here Destruction Derby 2, Crazy Arvin, Lomax, and Tenka, which I think means Life Force Tenka, which I've never played any of them. I've only played Destruction Derby 2. I have Crazy Arvin already for the PlayStation 1. But I've not got around to playing it yet. But I did have this game, and this is a hell of a lot of fun. A really fun game where you just go around smashing things up, and you can do just kind of like normal stock car like races as well. But a really fun game. I had the original one as well, but I had this one first, believe it or not. I had this bundled in with my PlayStation 1, and then later on I got the first one. And the first one I think had more options within the destruction arenas from what I remember, so that's why that one was pretty good. But I just got it because it brought back memories. That was a nostalgia one for many reasons, and because I haven't actually picked it up yet on the PlayStation 1, so I got it for the PC instead. Hopefully it works, because some of these older ones, if it is an older CD-ROM, so it must be quite old, they don't actually work. Some of them, like I've got Diablo. In fact, that's a spoiled it. That's one of the other games coming up. I might as well show it now. And I got Diablo because I've been after that for a while. I tried playing the PS1 emulator. I was going to do a let's play of it, but the sound was a bit funky. The gameplay was okay, and the people talking, but the sound was just putting me off because the music was it was on loop. It kept skipping like a broken record. So. And I couldn't be bothered messing around with my emulator. I didn't want to like break it or anything. So I'm not that well up on how to use emulators. I just kind of set it up and it worked, so I've left it alone. But this is like one of those classic top-down role-playing games, so I really wanted to play it. It's one of those, founding kind of, well, not founding fathers, but it's one of those big ones now in history of that genre, made by Blizzard, who did Warcraft and Starcraft. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I have actually got it working now. It wasn't working before, but I've managed to get it working. Still a little bit temperamental, but hopefully I can play through that. And if I can record it as well, that's a bonus. Another one I picked up, another classic RPG, and this one again only cost me 50p. and that's the Elder Scrolls Morrowind Game of the Year edition. So I've got the Blood Moon and Tribunal pack in there as well. 50p, that is a bargain. If you've never played this game, it is absolutely amazing. If you love your role-playing games and your open world ones, this is Bethesda, and people will be thinking about Fallout 4, which I'm looking forward to. But this is an absolutely amazing game in that kind of mould. Came along before Skyrim and Oblivion, and I played it at first. I played this on the original Xbox, which I've got it for the original Xbox, but just the vanilla version. So when I saw this, I snapped it up because I've never played Tribunal or Blood Moon. So it'd be good to maybe play through that on the PC and give that a go. And I've also picked up 2 classic point and clicks, which I've never really heard of too much, and never mind to play, and that's Simon the Sorcerer. And I got these because they just look like a brilliant kind of, the artwork on the front just kind of reminds me of Terry Pratchett Discworld, so it looks like they've kind of got a lot of their inspiration from that, so it looks like it's going to be a humorous game. And also just the back of it just reminded me of playing Monkey Island on the Amiga, especially that one with the purple writing and the walk to and the things like that. It just reminds me of the old point and clicks for the Amiga, so that's going to give me some old school point and click nostalgia. And then moving on, I'll do the one Xbox game and a little bit of an guilty admission to picking this one up, and it is Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. And I'm not a pervert, I probably won't play this, to be honest, and I got it. I'll probably give it a look over, but I kind of got this because it was only 59p from Accrington in a cash generator, but it's an Xbox exclusive, and I've got to think about picking those up if I can get them cheap. So it's one of those Xbox exclusive games, so that's why I picked that one up. Basically, scandally clad with the women from Dead or Alive series, the fighting series, playing volleyball in bikinis. So basically a thing for adolescent boys to get all hot and bothered over, basically. And I'll do the PlayStation 1 stuff first, and I got myself a copy of Gran Turismo Real Driving Simulator, and it's one of those early games where the DualShock started coming into play, and I had this game. I remember going out and paying full whack for it at the time as well, $39.99 I think I paid for this. Again, it's advertising the DualShock, but one weird thing is, it's platinum. The only bad thing is it's a platinum copy, but it's complete and it's in pretty good nick, to be honest. And I actually thought I already had this, but I don't. I've got Gran Turismo 2, so this will be a stroll down memory lane because it was just really impressive. At the time, the graphics were mind-blowing for this on a racing game. And you know, some people think it's boring and it's a bit too realistic, but at the time they were groundbreaking, and they kind of, that kind of crown's been tarnished a little bit recently, with other people like Forza coming in now and challenging them for their spot. But at the time, this was kind of groundbreaking and a really slick, well-presented racer. So it deserves its place in history. And then I also picked up Siphon Filter 2, which were great fun games. I remember playing, I think I did play this one. If this is the one with the flame-throwing guy with a bulletproof suit on one of the bosses, then I have played this one. But I can't remember. I can mainly remember playing the first one and just a brilliant demo, and then we later went out and played the full version. I think it was me and my brother played that over at his house. And you had a taser that you could shoot out, and you could electrocute people, and if you held it on them, they actually set on fire. So a really good game. You could roast terrorists alive, basically. And who wouldn't want to do that? Kind of like a third-person shooting game. And they were just great fun. So I'm looking forward to going and playing that at some point. And then moving on, finally, and I'll try and be brief-ish, I've gotten some more PlayStation 2 stuff, because there's a new shop that's opened up by us, and it's a shop called That's Entertainment, And basically they sell games for 99p, or you can get 5 games for £6. So I picked some up. Some of the others haven't come from there. These two I don't think came from there, and that's Hurdy-Gurdy, made by Core and Ardos, that team. They usually band together, you know, for Tomb Raider and a lot of other games like that. And that's complete. And this is just a great little charming game about a little boy who's got to herd different animals, and there's different kind of tactics towards doing that. Like the little animals there, they're just you herd them like you would sheep, just getting behind them. You just got to corral them in to wherever you've got to get them. If you're herding the big things there, you've got to basically, you become the prey, and you've got to make them follow you, and they'll think there's something to eat, and then you lead them into the pen, I think. And there's another few ones like something to do with using music, but I can't remember too much. I only played the demo, but it's a nice little charming game. Nothing violent or anything like that about it, but it's just a fun one. You wouldn't think herding animals would be fun, but I think from what I remember, it is pretty good, and a good title to pick up on the cheap. And I also got Ridge Racer 5. I might have actually, I think I did get them from the shop actually, yeah. Let me just see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I didn't. I got them from somewhere else, but I can't remember for the life of me where I got these. I think I got them from either Cash Converters or Generator in Accrington, I think it was. And that's complete as well. And I never played this Ridge Racer at all. I played a little bit of 4, the last one on the PlayStation 1 because my mate had it. But and the only one before that I played was, I'd played the Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer Evolution, but those again were other people's. I owned Rage Racer because I got it with a PC, with my PS1. But I never actually played this one. It was a series I fell away from after the PlayStation was done with and PlayStation 2 moved on, and I only got back onto it when it was the advent of the PS1 and PSP, should I say? And I got it with my handheld. That was the game I got with it. I got a PSP and I got Ridge Racer, which had some classic levels from all the ones that went before it. But it's just the same kind of thing, just a good arcade racer where you're just sliding around corners, and no, not realistic in the slightest, but great fun to play nonetheless, and with some little techno dancey kind of music that just reminds you of the arcades usually. And moving on, just a brief one with that, everyone knows what it is. FIFA 07, just a football game, official licensing and all that, and there's one every year. And basically I picked this one up because it's one of the only ones that I don't have from 2001. I've got 2001 all the way up to 2007 now. I haven't got the moderner ones because I've already got them for the PS3 from 2008 up. So I've now got 1 to 7. And I think this one was cool because you could make your own team and name your own team, and then you cherry pick some players and you could start off in whatever league you wanted with your very own team, and that was kind of cool. I remember making my own team and going from League 2 to the Premiership with them, so that was cool. But that was on a copied version of the disc at the time. I had one of those boot discs, but yeah, I probably will play that one over the other older ones just for the fact that I can make my own team. And another 2 games that I picked up Stuntman. I think this was pretty good. I never played it back in the day, so I don't know much about it, just that you're a stuntman and you got to recreate, do some stunt scenes, and there's various rankings of how well you actually do it, and these like kind of things they want you to check off doing on a certain scene. So it looks like it might be quite fun, a fun game, like driving in front of trains and tipping jeeps over and things like that. So I probably will give that a look. That was Atari and Reflections, so I'll probably give that a go. Blood Rain 2, I kind of just picked that up because I've not seen it before. I've actually got I've got an Italian case, so the instruction booklet's in Italian, and this is kind of like a third-person shooter, kind of like play a vampire hunter. I think she's half vampire. That's usually the way things go in these. I remember Vampire Hunter D for the PlayStation 1. That was kind of the same thing, which came off a manga. This one isn't off a manga or anything like that, but it's kind of like another female lead, I suppose. But I don't think it's as good as some other games that came along that in that kind of vein that were third person actioners. So I don't think it's brilliant. Plus, I think the sequel's not as good as the first one, and I haven't got the first one yet, so I won't be playing that for a while until I get my hands on the first one in the series. Another racing game, I got Wipeout Fusion, because it is meant to be not too bad. I was looking at an old magazine, and it had pretty good reviews actually. That's complete. I just remember playing the first one for the PlayStation 1, and it's kind of that futuristic kind of thing, kind of like the PlayStation's answer to F-Zero, and he probably took that idea and ran with it, maybe made it better as well, and you had weapons and stuff like that as well. So that'd be fun to go back and revisit that one. And another one I got because I've heard good things about it, and that's Maximo. I picked this one up on its own actually, and that for 99p with the next game I'll show you. And that's complete, and I think it's kind of carrying on from Ghosts and Ghoulies for the I think it was on Mega Drive and SNES actually, but the old computers. I never actually played it, or Ghosts and Ghouls. I never really played that game. I'll have to get the Sega collection to go and play that, the Classics collection. And this is like a 3D platformer though, kind of version. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to that, and it's meant to be quite hard as well. So it's not one of those easy kind of platformers. It's got some nice, good difficulty levels, just like that game supposedly has. I haven't played it, so I wouldn't know. But I'm looking forward to playing that, because a few people said that's a quality title to pick up, and for 99p you can't go wrong. The other game I picked up with that time, I only picked up 2 at that point. There weren't any other games I wanted to put onto the offer, and I got Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and I'm not a massive fan of the Metal Gear series, but I thought I'll pick this up because it's one of those games that was a benchmark, probably for the PlayStation 2. And if I give it a go, you never know, I might like it. I remember playing Sons of Liberty, I've got that, and my mate had it originally. It was one of the games I got when I started getting back into collecting, actually, in a big way. I picked it up for 75p, Sons of Liberty, so this has just added to that collection. I'm not too keen on some of those kind of stealth games, and I always thought the controls were a bit awkward and things like that. At the time of playing them, I didn't really have the patience, but maybe now with my advancing years, maybe I'll enjoy this game a little bit more now. Probably get some hate, maybe. There's probably a lot of Metal Gear fans out there. Another game I've got, and that's Warhammer 40,000 Fire Warrior, and that's kind of a shoot 'em up. And Brian Blessed's in this, the gruff Shakespearean actor, you know, the guy from Flash Gordon. Gordon's alive! That guy, he does the voice for this, and Tom Baker. So, and I can't remember if I've played this or not, but I always saw it and was intrigued by it, and always wanted to try it out. I don't know how good it actually is. It's got some good reviews there from Play Magazine, PT Magazine, and Maxim, although not anything by official PlayStation Magazine, which is usually the more reliable and level-headed magazine from what I remembered back in the day. But I love the Warhammer kind of universe. I remember playing the older strategy games for the PlayStation 1, so I'll probably give this a go at some point. Maybe do a playthrough of it, and you can see me playing that with me if you so desire. And the last game I picked up is a real fun looking game, and I was glad to get it really cheap as well, and that's Indiana Jones, Lego Indiana Jones, the original adventures. So this goes through all 3 movies, the original movies, and it just puts the little charming Lego slant on them, just like the Harry Potter games and the Star Wars games. I remember playing this on the demo, just fighting the little snakes on one of the levels. I don't know if it's the first level, because sometimes demos don't give you the very first level. But it looked intriguing, but I just, for some reason, I think I thought at the time, oh, that's for kids, because it was Lego, and I'll probably have to hit myself over the head with a stick for that kind of view, and go and play it at some point, because it probably will be really fun But there you go. That has been the games I've collected. But I've also got a little bonus for you. I've got the pile there, just trying to topple over. And I got a couple of old magazines and a guard. I got the guard for SmackDown Just Bring It, which is the first PlayStation 2 game. I remember buying it myself, brand new, because I really enjoyed the PlayStation 1 SmackDowns. And this was the very first one that came out, and I remember going and getting it from, I think it was called Game then. And I got a free The Rock dog tag, because The Rock was massive back in those days. That was him at his heart of his powers in the WWF. And it also has a guide for Road to WrestleMania for the Game Boy Advance as well. But it just shows you as well, it's a cool little thing to look back and see some of the old wrestlers from back in those days. Like this Chris Jericho there with his long hair. And, oh, don't look at that guy, Chris Benoit, maybe not. Is it too soon? Bradshaw, who's now a commentator. But that was before he became JBL. Billy Gunn. That was when he was the one. Billy Gunn, badass. Big Show. There's Albert, before he became, what is it, Tensai or whatever the hell he was called. The Dudley Boys, Spike Dudley. Shane McMahon, Rikishi, Raven. So if you remember any of these guys, if you remember watching wrestling at the time, Perry Saturn, it was like Steve Austin, all those was in the game at the time. That just shows you the move set. It's not really that big of a guide, to be honest, because it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. And then I got some game magazines, which in fact has wrestling on it as well, and that's PlayStation World magazine, which is featuring Here Comes the Pain. Which I can't remember if that's the next game after Just Bring It, or whether that was Shut Your Mouth. I think this was after Shut Your Mouth, I think. And this is from, I think it's 2005, I think it is, or 2004, it's July edition. Anyway, and it goes through some of the games there. There's some good features in there. Advertising FIFA 2004, yes, it must be from 2004, this one. And there's a few games there. James Bond, Everything or Nothing. There's an interview with Bruce Campbell. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, Ratchet and Clank, Locked and Loaded were some of the games reviewed in this copy. And if anyone is interested, I'll have a flick through that magazine in another video if you so desire. I will do that for you. And I've got the PlayStation 2 official magazine. This is from Christmas. I think it's 2004 at Christmas. Yeah, Christmas 2004, and this features Batman Begins and has some great features in it. I've read through this one. There's an advertisement there for Jax 3 and the Christmas new releases, the must-have new releases, the amazing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Call of Duty Finest Hour, Killzone, Getaway Black Monday, Need for Speed Underground 2, and Prince of Persia Warrior Within. So that was that year's Christmas big games to buy. I remember buying San Andreas myself before Christmas. It cost me $44.99, so I paid the extra £5. You knew when a game was the big deal when they charged you $44.99 for it. That's when you knew it was a good game, and they knew they could get away with charging you that. But it has a review for San Andreas. There's little views on Monster Hunter. It hadn't come out then, but that's just a preview. And the Backyard Wrestling, GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and Knight Rider 2, The Incredibles, Dukes of Hazzard, Return of General Lee. That's just some of the reviews on this. Again, if you wouldn't mind me doing a flick through of that in another video, just in a bit more detail, then hit up the comments section. But if you've got anything to comment on this video, any of those games you used to own or you own now that you love to play, or anything like that, or anything else, a little topical one for this one. Who used to be, if you did watch wrestling, who was your favourite WWE superstar from back in these days? For me, it has to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. It has to be. And The Rock as well, but he was only a close second behind Steve Austin. But there you go, who were your favourites? And also, for some reason, I always liked Hardcore Holly as well, for some reason, in the lower card wrestlers. But anywho, that's what I've been collecting. Any thoughts from you guys would be greatly appreciated, but that's all I got time for on this video. I'll see you when I next pick up some more stuff.